It's been a minute since we've done a house divided segment, but we are back in full effect because PFF decided to roll out their top 10 returning quarterbacks. And Marcus seems pretty upset that JJ McCarthy is so low on the list. Is that true or no?
I don't know if I was upset about where he's at on the list as opposed to list. Some of the conversation around him being on the list. I thought was getting a little out of hand.
Names or no? You just
not at this point. Not at this point. But the conversation was a little maddening around it. Do you have the list up in front of you?
I do. Number 1, Caleb Williams. I think that's pretty.
That's fair.
That's pretty apt. Number 2, Drake May from North Carolina.
Also fair.
Number 3 is Jordan Travis from Florida State.
Yeah, I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss because say what you want about Jordan Travis. What defense did Jordan Travis face last year? I think they played LSU.
They played Florida.
Miami.
Clemson.
North Carolina. Clemson was a disaster last year. Who did we see Jordan Travis play defensively that we were confident, like, okay, he beat one of the best defenses in America?
Duquesne.
He beat a top 10 defense.
Duquesne, LSU, Louisville, Boston College, Wake Forest, NC State, Clemson, Georgia Tech, Miami, Syracuse, Louisiana, Florida, and then Oklahoma and the Cheez-It Bowl.
Louisiana?
University of Louisiana, not LSU. But they also did play LSU.
I'm sorry, y'all. LSU is the only defense on there that's worth a damn. How did he play against LSU?
20 for 33, 260 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
8 carries for 31 yards.
He had a decent game.
Yeah.
Had a decent game versus the only defense I respect on that list. Once again, Clemson was a disaster last year. I'm holding out on the Jordan Travis train, but please continue.
I mean, could the same thing not be said about Drake May?
Yes, but I happen to think that Drake May is a higher caliber player.
But okay, so if
Travis.
that's being said, then why number 2? Do you think he's a higher caliber of some of the other quarterbacks on this list?
Keep going.
All right. Number 4, Michael Penix Jr.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Number 5, Bo Nix, Oregon.
Yes, we've watched Bo Nix for 4 years. Last year was his best year. Let's not completely change the story on Bo Nix here. Bo Nix, until last year, until he went to Oregon, was a quarterback who was terrific at home, absolutely shit on the road. He gave us one season where that wasn't the case. Okay, if he does it again, he is elite. He should go top 10 in the NFL draft. If not, if he reverts back to what he was the first 3 years of his career at Auburn, then what are you going to say to me? That was the off one? That's the aberration?
Number 6, Jaden Daniels.
I like Jaden Daniels. I like Jaden Daniels more than most that I'm seeing now. The only 2 that I'm questioning right now so far is Jordan Travis and
Bo Nix.
But I mean, I know that Bo Nix is a better quarterback today than JJ McCarthy is because he's a 5th-year starter now. Ask me what JJ is year 4 and 5, and we'll see when it's actually comparable. Bo Nix has been playing college football for so much longer than JJ McCarthy. It's not even a fair comparison.
Is JJ going to need year 4 and 5?
No, I don't think he is, and that's another reason why I feel like it's not an apt comparison. Bo Nix is a quarterback who needed years 4 and 5 to convince NFL scouts. I don't think JJ is going to need 5 years of college football to convince NFL scouts.
Number 7, Sam Hartman from Notre Dame.
Another one that's kind of hard to call for me, right? Because terrific numbers, looks very pretty throwing the football. Anytime Sam Hartman plays a football team with a pulse, it doesn't happen. Nothing happens.
Mm-hmm.
They don't win. Wake Forest versus Clemson 2 years in a row, undefeated, right? What happened? And this wasn't even a good Clemson team. So now he's got his shot at Notre Dame. He will play Ohio State. He will play USC.
He's still going to play some of them ACC teams, though.
Some of them.
Clemson,
but
probably.
he's got Ohio State and USC on the schedule. Those will be the 2 games that tells me whether or not Sam Hartman is legit.
Yeah.
Because the chances that he had to show it at Wake Forest, how did they go? See, it's one thing to talk about all of this stuff that we like to see from quarterbacks and how good it is. But then if you don't put it into the context of who they're doing it against and then how it changed when the level of competition was elevated, you're not doing yourself you're doing yourself a disservice. Mm-hmm. Because you're going off of skewed statistics.
Number 8, JJ McCarthy.
My boy.
Gross. Number 9, KJ Jefferson from Arkansas.
I like KJ Jefferson, but I would take JJ McCarthy over him.
And then number 10, Michael Pratt from Tulane Greenway.
Don't even know who that is.
I don't either.
So my problem is the thought that JJ McCarthy is not a top 10 returning quarterback. Okay. 22-5 touchdown to interception ratio. 2 of those interceptions came in one game versus TCU. I won't even do the disservice of looking up everyone else's interception to touchdown ratio. I think Caleb Williams threw more than 5 interceptions. Not Drake May. I'm not sure about Hartman. I know Michael Penix threw more than 5 interceptions. I know Bo Nix threw more than 5 interceptions. Don't know about Jordan Travis. And the touchdowns thing, I'm still leaning that on the idea that you've got 2 NFL running backs. You're not going to get the opportunity to throw 38 tutties if you've thrown the ball away 12 times. Yeah. So Sam Hartman is better than JJ because he has the volume. Is he as efficient? Does he run the offense the same way? JJ only had 22 touchdowns, but we averaged 40 points a game. So I'm
KJ Jefferson also 24-5.
That's actually surprising. I thought he threw more picks than that. That's pretty good, especially considering the guy who runs the ball too. That's pretty damn good. So yeah, that's the top 10 returning quarterbacks. PFF also put out a list of top 10 returning players by position.
So quarterback was Caleb Williams and Drake May, obviously.
Okay.
Running back was Blake Corum, and then
Donovan Edwards.
Quinshon Judkins from Ole Miss.
Donovan Edwards, it should be.
Well, we can't all have 2 in both positions. Like Ohio State for receiver, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Egbuka.
Is that the backup wide receiver?
That's the second wide receiver.
Son of a bitch! You're telling me Emeka Egbuka is the second best wide receiver in the country?
2,000-yard receivers.
Stop!
I mean,
stop it. You believe that Emeka Egbuka is the second best wide receiver in the country?
Well, is TCU's receiver?
No, he went to the league.
Jalen Hyatt's not.
I don't think that matters.
I'm just trying to run the best receivers that I remember from last year. So Jalen Hyatt, TCU's wide receiver. Who else we got?
Keyshawn Boutte going to the league. Jordan Addison
declares for 2023 NFL Draft. Jordan Addison.
Damn. Is Emeka Egbuka better than Keon Coleman?
Who was throwing to Keon Coleman? Well, okay, you know what?
Peyton Thorne? You said who was throwing to him? Peyton Thorne? Who throws it to the other team just as often as he throws it to his receivers?
That's my point.
I said who's the better receiver. I didn't say who's going to have the better season.
Sure. No, that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I just think, when you have a better quarterback throwing to you and not throwing it to the opposite team.
Michigan State. I would say him and Parker Washington are about even.
Parker Washington's a good.
Nebraska didn't really have anybody. Illinois didn't really have anybody. Wisconsin didn't really have anybody.
I don't think Parker Washington is better than Egbuka though.
Dog, cut it out.
He'd be starting for any other. He'd be wide receiver 1 for any other team.
We just went down a list of players that he's either equal or not better than. He's not wide receiver number 1 at Michigan State. He's even at Penn State with Parker Washington. We just said that.
I didn't say that I decidedly felt like Parker
Washington. You said
Parker
Washington is good, but I don't feel like he's better. You didn't say Emeka Egbuka is better.
I said Parker Washington's good. I like him, but I don't think he's better than Egbuka.
Okay. This is getting ridiculous. Emeka Egbuka is the second best wide receiver on his third best if JSN is still there, but he's the second best wide receiver returning next year on his team. He would be wide receiver 1 at a lot of places, not everywhere, not anywhere.
Okay. All right, fine. fine. Not there's maybe 5 schools that can boast not making him wide receiver 1. Anyway, on the tight end,
Yikes.
Brock Bowers, obviously, and then Brevin Spanford for Minnesota.
Okay.
And then we've got offensive tackle. There's notably no Michigan players there.
That's crazy.
Interior offensive line, notably no Michigan players there.
That's bullshit. Zach Center and Keegan are probably the 2 best returning guards in college football.
Joe Alt, Notre Dame, and
Bullshit.
Graham Barton, Duke are the offensive tackles.
Fam, jump off a bridge. Jump off a bridge. Who from Duke?
Graham Barton.
That's my cousin, but he ain't better than Zinzer.
Oh, man. And then interior offensive line, Cooper Beebe from Kansas State and Bo Limmer from Arkansas. So, yeah, nobody from Michigan.
That's really weird.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah,
You want to go to defense?
Yeah, let's
All
do
right.
it.
Interior defensive line, Jerzon Newton from Illinois and Dante Corleone from Cincinnati. Edge defenders, Jared Verse from Florida State, Braylon Trice from Washington Huskies. Linebacker, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. from Clemson.
He had a bad year last year.
I mean,
but whatever.
It's the name, though.
Played a lot of bad football last year.
Harold Perkins Jr. from LSU is number 2. Cornerbacks, Kool-Aid McKinstry from Alabama, and then Kalen King from Penn State.
Damn. There's not a plan. Oh, my God. Where's Will Johnson? Where is Will Johnson? There's not there. Listen to me closely. There isn't a defensive back on Penn State on the entire roster that can hold Will Johnson's jockstrap.
Kalen King, apparently, according to
No, he can't. No, he can't. And we'll prove it in Happy Valley. But no, he can't. What are we talking about?
In single coverage, the sophomore led all corners in the country with a 93.3 grade and 18.3 passing.
I keep forgetting that we're basing this off of their grading system and all that other stuff. So it's like a lot of subjectivity and it's heavily filtered.
Incompletions in single coverage were tied for 3rd among FBS corners as well.
And then I guess if you didn't play the whole season and like if you weren't getting starting minutes the whole season, then that would skew, I guess, the performance. But if we're applying all of these filters, then why wouldn't we adjust that for minimum snaps? Like, why would we? Anyways, whatever.
Safety. Number 1 is Kalen Bullock from USC and Cameron Kinchins from Miami. And they don't have kicker.
What? USC has the number 1 safety in the country? Blouse. The highest rated safety in the country? Blouse.
The sophomore's 5 interceptions were tied for 5th among all safeties in the country. He was also the 3rd most valuable safety in the country, according to PFF's.
I don't care. He played for Alex Grinch. I know he out there looking silly because he played for Alex Grinch. I don't care what the stats say. I know he's going to be out there spinning his head around, hips all open, because he plays for Alex Grinch.
And they don't have any kickers, punters, returners, anything like that. So
yeah, I mean these are nice to go over in the off season when you don't have anything to talk about and debate about it. But ultimately, the results on the field are the only thing that matters to me, at least. I know there are other programs out there who, tout other things.
Well, I mean, but then we're talking about returning quarterbacks. I mean, you're not even accounting for people like Kyle McCord or Arch Manning, who's going to come in and make a splash in the game. So is he even going to play this year? Yeah, bro. Arch Manning's going to get.
I mean, there was another top 10 returning quarterback on that list, right? Quentin Ewers, wasn't he on there?
No.
Oh, he wasn't on that list?
No.
Where did I must have heard that somewhere else.
Oh, well, yeah, no.
Must have heard someone else say that Quentin Ewers was
taken, like he took the truck from Reichert. He's going to get his job taken from Arch Manning.
Oh, I get it. You're hating on Quentin Ewers.
No.
Yeah, I get it now.
No,
I understand.
I'm a Manning fan.
Because if he was still there, he could have started for Ohio State instead of Kyle McCord.
No. I don't even know if that's 100% true.
Got it.
I don't
Fam,
think that's 100%
where is
true.
all of this Kyle McCord confidence coming from?
Well, I got to rep my guy.
But he hasn't played. You don't even know if you'll want him to be your guy by week 4 when you guys go to play Notre Dame.
He might not be our guy week 1. Devin Brown could be our guy.
So, okay, even given that reality, why so much confidence in Kyle McCord?
Because he's seemingly our guy for now. And I'm rooting for whatever decision they make. So if it is Devin Brown, expect me to be all Devin Brown week 1. But for now, I think it's going to be Kyle McCord. Just because of the relationship between him and Marvin Harrison. I'm leaning that way. But if it's Devin Brown, shout out to Devin Brown. I'm with you as well. Gotta rep my boys, you know what I mean? Scarlet and Gray, you feel me?
So, currently, looking at the season projections, Michigan is favored to beat Ohio State on November 26th by 1 point, according to Vegas. How does it make you feel? I actually feel disrespected. 1 point?
It's not true.
1 point?
I mean, what you're saying is true, but I mean, it's not going to happen.
Christ.
Cap.
That's all we get is 1 point at home?
You know, I feel weird about our schedule because I feel the way I did last year about it being a tough schedule, and then all of a sudden, all the teams sucked that we ended up thinking was going to be tough schedule or part of our tough schedule. I feel like our schedule is once again tough this year, but we'll see. We're starting off with Indiana, and then Youngstown State, Western Kentucky, and then Notre Dame. And then we've got Maryland, and then we've got Purdue at Purdue, Penn State at home, Wisconsin at Wisconsin, Rutgers at Rutgers, Michigan State at home, Minnesota, and then Michigan.
At Notre Dame, at Wisconsin, at Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Circle all of those. I think you should survive everything else. If you lose anything at home,
yeah, Minnesota, Michigan State, Penn State, Maryland, and
you
then our
should,
non-conference
you should win
games.
all of those games.
I agree.
You should win every single one of those
but
games.
But then, you know,
on the road in South Bend, on the road in Madison, and then on the road at the Big House, where I believe Michigan hasn't lost in 2 years, more than 2 years.
I'll be excited to see what Luke Fickell can do before our game to kind of get a read on what Wisconsin's going to look like.
Yeah, I think, they still have Braylon Allen, number one.
Yes,
they do, Madison is one of the hardest places to play.
Yep.
If they make that a night game, that will be a crazy atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you'll be taking a first-time starter on the road to do something like that. Now, granted, if you pass the first test, which would be Notre Dame week 4 on the road, that'll feel it'll feel a lot better going into Madison. Those will be the 3 games I would circle for y'all, man.
But if we got all that confidence going into the Michigan game, you know how
it's not going to matter. Y'all were 11-0 last year. You were 11-1 the year before that, or 10-1 the year before that. It ain't gonna matter.
But it will tell me a lot about whatever quarterback we start's confidence going into it.
Hey man, just line up for your annual.
And then everybody else has played Michigan. So
line up for the annual coronation of the Big Ten champion on November 26th. And then we will officially be able to announce that your program is broken.
We're starting
and
a
not
new
just
era.
Not just speculate about it now.
We're starting a new era of a decade of ass whippings for Michigan.
That's not okay. Okay. Give us your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Come back next week for more House Divided.
Absolutely. Make sure you check out our previous House Divided clip where I think we discussed Dylan Raiola. Is that the last one we did?
I have no idea.
It's pictured here. And make sure you subscribe anytime we get any kind of college football news or want to have a college football discussion. We will be here for you guys.